I'm waiting you. تسليم والله. How are you? Uh, shall I have to wait a little bit more to present? Do you want me to start the presentation? Because you told me you are coming at 3, you didn't come. I'm waiting you. In the morning we had exercise problem. Quentin and Khadija. Do you want me to go on to presentation?
We can wait for
Is it
just
okay?
3 more minutes, and maybe if they
Shall I
don't
have to
join, we
start?
can start. Sorry?
Okay, now you see the PowerPoint, isn't it? Because in the morning it was a problem with the PowerPoints. I don't know why it was, because somebody also present in the class. I stopped this. I closed this application, and I don't know. Now it's okay, I think.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, I'm jump up to the chapter 6. I will wait 2 minutes and present you this class. Okay, if it is okay. Okay, Suleiman Tanga. Did you do the assignment that I have uploaded to the system?
Hujam, which assignment? Managerial?
I uploaded already to the system. You didn't see it, and there was a limit for this until
Managerial
end of this
economics?
month. Yes, managerial economics. You didn't
Okay.
see it.
We'll check after the class.
Okay, you will control. Okay, I think it's okay to start the class. Shall I have to go on? It's enough, I think. I don't want to wait anymore. Okay, today I'm going to present you the producer side, because up to now we exercise the consumer utility, consumer demand, theory of demand, mostly the consumer preferences and utility function. And we are starting, unfortunately, we had less time to start the producer side. Actually, this class should be 2 semesters for being able to present everything comprehensively for understanding this micro and, of course, managerial economics better. Today, as I said to you, we are starting the producer side, the exercising and analyzing the producer gain. And the producer gain is, of course, demand side, the supply side of the economics. The cost of production, as you are understanding, is mostly Let me check. Somebody is trying to join to the class. If somebody comes and not able, let me know. Okay, there are many different type of costs, as I said to you, for the producer again, for the producer side, that we are going to analyze the variable cost and of course the total cost and total revenue and of course the profit should be analyzed and evaluate for being able to understand the impact of the producer towards to the supply side of the economics. The fixed cost, as your understanding, is mostly concentrated. Is of course the cost that is not going to be changed in a period of time, usually in a certain time of period. In the long run, there are no fixed costs, of course, but in the short run, there are some fixed costs, which is, of course, not able to change in a short period of time. Due to this, then we have to analyze the cost of production and, of course, benefits in light of this fixed and variable costs together. The fixed cost and variable cost and the total cost is, of course, very important, as I said to you. And of course, the variable cost is mostly it represents the workers and of course labor cost, which is heavily changing and analyzing, of course, the production cost in light of the growth. The sum of variable, as you are understanding, which is concentrated to the cost, is dependent to the fixed and total, of course, variable cost, which is representing the total cost. And much of this, of course, firms cost analysis dependent to this, of course, estimation. We have to analyze the total fixed and variable cost, average cost, everything that is going to be affecting and changing the total, of course, cost and total revenue, which is going to be estimated in the light of this profit. The average cost or average fixed cost equals fixed cost divided to the quantity produced, which is going to be the fixed cost will be divided to the quantity produced. This will then give you the average fixed cost. And average variable cost is, of course, then will gives you the variable cost divided to the quantity, which is then representing and, of course, giving us the average variable cost. In the total production operation costs, we are using these two costs, average variable cost and average fixed cost, which is, of course, will be then helping him to understand the amount of the cost which is going to be used in the production operation process for being able to analyze the production operation process. Average total cost is the unit cost derived and divided total cost by the quantity of output and plotting the cost on the vertical axis and the quantity of the output on the horizontal axis, and will then, of course, help to illustrate and illustrate this curve. The average total cost is, of course, as I said to you, is the total cost divided to the average total output. Then, of course, total cost of production is then, of course, fixed costs plus variable cost, which is, and of course, fixed costs are those that are spent and cannot be changed in the period of time under consideration. In the long run, there are no fixed costs, as I said to you, inputs, and therefore the costs are variable. And in the short run, of course, a number of inputs are supposed to be fixed. Workers are an example of this variable costs, which are costs that change output and changes, of course, total. The variable cost is the wage, is the, of course, interest rate. The variable cost is the amount of this capital which is going to be affected and change the total amount of the production. The sum of the variable, fixed, and fixed costs will be then, of course, giving us the total cost. The cost of production is supposed to be the average fixed cost is, of course, equal to, as I said to you, fixed cost divided to the quantity, and average variable cost is, then, of course, average variable cost is the variable cost divided to the quantity, and average variable cost, or sorry, average total cost is, and of course, average total cost is equal to total cost divided to Q, which is, and of course, average fixed cost plus average variable cost. Then marginal cost, and of course, is then of course the derivation or the change of this cost, which is then of course derivation of the total cost and derivation of the Q, which means then total cost 2 minus total cost 1 will be divided to the quantity 2, which is going to be added to the production, is going to be subtracted from the quantity 1, which is going to be the former production level. Therefore, the marginal cost is always used as the derivation. In the economics, very usually we are using this marginal cost, marginal utility. As you know, it is the derivation of this kind of parameters that is going to be affected and changed in the direction. Here, the average total cost is illustrated. As you are observing, average total cost is, and of course, is representing the fixed and total cost together. Fixed cost is somehow is vertical line, horizontal put, and then average total cost or average variable cost is also as a curve convex to the origin, and then total average cost is, and of course, a little bit upper position, and of course, again, convex to the origin. The marginal cost is the increase or decrease in the total cost of increasing or decreasing the level of output by 1 unit, and in declining, if somebody is trying to attend to the class. I don't see anybody. If somebody is coming, let me know. I don't see really anybody, and they are telling continuously that I don't accept them. I accept everybody, but after starting the class, I can't do anything. The marginal cost, as I said to you, is increase or decrease of the total cost and increase and decrease of the output level. In deciding how many units of products is going to be, of course, affected and changed, the marginal cost is, of course, important. The marginal cost is the change in the cost caused by a change in output derived by dividing the change in the total cost by the change in the quantity of output. As I said, is delta C over delta Q, which is, of course, the derivation of the total cost to derivation of the total cost to the quantity changes. When we are looking to this example here, which is given, the fixed cost is, as you observe here, is 50 units, which is a horizontal line to the output. And it is 50 units given, and vertical line is, of course, supposed to be the cost, and variable cost is supposed to be started with 38 to 50, then 100, 108, 150, and then total cost is the summation of this fixed cost and variable cost, and marginal cost, as I said to you, is the delta TC over delta Q, and then average fixed cost, then of course, will be total cost, total quantity divided to the same, and average variable cost is then, of course, the total of this divided to the Q, and average total cost is then, of course, as I said to you, is going to be divided again to the Q. Here it is given here the amount of product which is going to be affected and changed regarding to the total. The graphing this cost curves to again or to gain a greater understanding of this concept, it is a good idea to draw the graph for being able to understand better the impact or effects of this total cost, fixed cost, variable cost, and marginal cost on the graphical illustration. Of course, total cost, the variable cost has the same shape as the total cost curve, and of course, increasing output increase the variable cost. Therefore, when we are drawing cost, as you are observing here, it is a horizontal line to the output, to the quantity of amount or production, and vertical cost, variable cost, of course, somehow started from the origin and goes up. And total cost is then, of course, starting from the so-called intercept, which is the fixed cost, or so-called the autonomous cost, is the 50, and going up similarly to the variable cost. When we are in these order, then you are observing there are, of course, certain points which is going to be affected and change the total economy in this direction. Of course, we have to illustrate this in a different form that you are going to observe in the following slides. Average cost is, of course, goes through the minimum the cost and average variable cost curve either. Each of these curves is the U-shaped, as I mentioned to you, and it is, of course, illustrated as it is going to be seen here. You see here, as I mentioned to you, the average fixed cost is somehow is a little bit horizontal line, which is going to be illustrated, and average variable and of course average total cost is somehow is similarly illustrated, but average marginal cost is expected to intersect the minimum points at the average variable cost and average total cost together at the same direction to the minimum points. And as you are understanding from this, the average fixed cost curve look like a child slide, and it starts out with a steep decline and it becomes flatter and flatter. It tells that out phases, the same fixed costs can be spread out over a wide range of output. And when output is increasing the short run, it can only be done by increasing variable input. The law of diminishing marginal productivity is realized here, as you're observing on the graphic that I have illustrated to you, is more and more of variable input is added to the fixed cost, because as much as you are increasing this variable, then you are shifting this total cost also upper level. The marginal and average productivity falls, and marginal cost is also expected to rise. And when the average productivity of the variable input falls, the average variable cost is also rising. The average total cost curve is the vertical summation of the average fixed cost and average variable cost. And in the firm increasing output enormously, the average curve, total cost curve would almost meet. The firm's eye is focused on average total cost and it wants to keep it low. And as you are observing here again, as I mentioned to you, it is, of course, the lowest level for the production where the average fixed cost is started and goes to the parallel line to the output. And of course, when you are concentrating average, it is increasing and upgrading this production as much as possible as it is coming to the minimum point, and then cost is of course intersecting the average variable cost and average total cost at the minimum point illustrated on the graph.
Hojam, we are not seeing the slide.
Mm. Oh, no, nothing is seen. Oh, no, 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 no. I think the system is not working well today. I have to finish this class. I have to go on and finish because I don't know what, there is a problem with the system. You understand me, Hatice? I have to go on and finish
Yes,
this
Hujam, no
class
problem. Continue.
because there is a problem with the internet. I don't know what is happening. Today is bad luck, I think.
Yes, Hujam. Not only you, even Dr. Dizem had a problem. Just continue, Hujam.